Thank you. That's my talk. It's really an honor to be here. It's really a wonderful, fantastic experience. A lot of it very mind-opening. I've been challenged by almost every single talk, in that I walked in thinking I wasn't so sure, and I had my mind opened and changed and illuminated. And so I'm hoping to do that actually a little bit today. I want to sort of challenge you in some ways. And I want to thank VJ and the rest of the organizers of the festival for this opportunity. I'd like to introduce what I believe is an entirely new breathwork. A new breath is a better way of saying it. It's going to be somewhat familiar, but I'm going to suggest to you that there's no way you would probably know the actual history of it. So this breath, of course, is called the breath of Ha. And actually, last night somebody actually had us doing that sound, but in a different way. And I'm going to suggest to you that the sound Ha and the exhalation Ha is probably the oldest breathwork of them all. It's probably the second thing we did after learning to breathe as mammals. And so let me tell you a little bit of a story. So I'm going to suggest to you that you already know this breath. It's actually a breath that humans instinctively, unconsciously learn at an exact time in their lives. I don't know if anybody knows when babies begin to laugh. It's actually a precise time in our lives. Does anybody know? Almost about 40 days. All babies, every culture, every language, every civilization, babies begin to laugh by themselves. They do not learn it from their parents, which is weird. So I want to tell you a quick story, and I'm going to rush through this because there's a time issue for the later speakers, so I'm going to talk fast. But I kind of enjoy talking fast sometimes, but if something doesn't make sense, stop me and ask for clarification. So let me tell you a story. This will really help understand this whole picture. You might know who this is. This is Aristotle, famous Greek philosopher. Aristotle is famous for saying this kind of weird thing, which is only humans laugh. He didn't say that exactly, but that's what he meant. He believed that what separates human beings from the animals is that we are the only ones that laugh. We are now discovering that that is bullshit. That is not true, and that there may be evidence that animals are laughing as well. Maybe at us. Yeah, exactly. That's right. So, primates, our primate relatives, laugh. I can demonstrate a chimpanzee laugh if you'd like. It's a bit like this. And I want to explain there's an interesting reason why we may have failed to recognize that animals are laughing. I could demonstrate by actually crawling on the floor. Other animals crawl on 4 feet, almost all of them, all mammals. But when we stood up, it gave us the ability to sort of tone our vocalizations. Primates cannot do that. Dogs cannot do that. So that is different. Now, I'll give you another really dramatic example. There's some evidence that they now believe that dogs can laugh. And this is a recent study that just came out. There's finally kind of some interesting evidence that this is. What's weird about this study was nobody was able to actually prove animals were laughing. They just took animal vocalization studies from all over the world, but none of the people were actually interested in laughing. They just studied animal vocalizations, and they mentioned that there was a repetitive sound that kept reappearing among almost all mammalian life, and that was the breath of Ha. There's a Ha sound that was coming back, and it was usually used to signal play. So out of that, they said, maybe animals are laughing too. Now, I want to introduce you to somebody. This is, sorry, my slides are, I might have to do it this way. So this is a lovely woman named Patricia Simonet. She was sorry, it's not the wrong slide, but she was a researcher at the University of Spokane, Washington. She was the first one to have a theory that dogs are laughing. She was ridiculed. This is about 8 or 9 years ago. She was ridiculed heavily for her crazy theory. sadly, she died of breast cancer about 4 or 5 years ago and was never able to see that now the evidence is coming out that she may have been right. It's still very controversial. So I decided to interview somebody who I thought would really be an authority on this subject, and that is actually my dog. And so this is an interview, if you don't mind turning up the volume on this is an interview with my dog where I interrogate her directly on the question of whether dogs laugh. Do you laugh? Like... Do dogs laugh? Sunny, would you say that dogs can laugh? My dog, Sunny. So I should just explain, I started to mix laughter with my breathwork practice this year. I belong to the Kingston Wim Hof group in Kingston, Ontario, which, by the way, you may be surprised to learn, is the largest regular cold immersion group currently in Canada. We regularly often get 30, 40 people to an event. We've had over 100 people to swimming events. And one thing we started doing is there's some very interesting studies on pain. Whenever they do studies on pain, what do they use to measure as a kind of like base measurement of pain experience? Ice water. They put people, what we experienced yesterday, you probably felt some pain. There's some really amazing studies where they have people watch 2 movies. So a very, very serious, grim movie like Saving Private Ryan, and then I think When Harry Met Sally. And what they find out was when you're watching When Harry Met Sally, you can keep your hand in a bucket of ice water for much longer. And this was proof that laughter is a natural painkiller and a very good one. So we laugh in the ice water. We don't do it while we're swimming because that would be a drowning risk. But we laugh in the water, and it's fantastic. And it's a real and we mix it in with our breath work. So I want to show you, I'm going to try to prove to you step by step that all of this is real. A lot of people think you can't just use laughter as a practice. It has to be spontaneous and unconscious. But I'm going to demonstrate today that it is very practicable and can be easily integrated into breath work. So I want to show you sort of basic laughter. Actually, I want to show you a mathematical formula for contagious laughter. So this laugh, here it is. So this is a formula, only a theory at this point. I'm going to suggest that if we do this, so if we take the breath of ha, okay, so the breath of ha, plus eye contact, with proximity, so we need to be proximal, close to each other, plus a gradient, so we gradually go up in energy and effort, we will produce contagious laughter, even though there's nothing necessarily funny going on. So let me demonstrate what I mean. So we just take a deep breath in. Yes, deep breath. So take a deep breath in, and we very gently go like this. And then we go up the gradient. Eureka! The formula works. Now, this even applies to smiling. So there's a laugh that actually tends to produce smiling, which is the he laugh. So you're like, hee, 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 hee. And we can even do this as a gradient smile. So if you just gently take a breath in, and you just gently go like this. Very nice. Taking it a step further, there's even a gradient cheer. So I don't know if you know this, that cheering is a human universal. It's very little research on it. It's very interesting behavior. It was actually Canadian researchers at UBC that went to Africa, found an uncontacted tribe, and demonstrated sort of bunch of behaviors. And the one that proved to be universal was the victory pose, which is sort of cheering, when the Habs win in Montreal, those of you will understand the victory pose. So I'm going to show you that it works as a gradient effect as well. What you're going to just do is very gently take a deep breath in, and you go like this. You go, yeah, yay, yeah, yes, wonderful. Now you may know this guy. This is what's his first name? Huberman is his last name. He's a neuroscientist out of Stanford, very famous. There's a very famous podcast. He has a brilliant research breakthrough where he figured out that, or his lab figured out, that we have individuated neurons in our brains that create something called the physiological sigh, which is very, very easy to do. So physiological sigh is a way that people naturally and unconsciously calm themselves. I can demonstrate, we can do it all together. What it is 2 quick breaths, usually through the nose, and then a gentle breath out. So it goes like this, you go, Great. Now, did you know that you could also do the physiological laugh? So we do the same thing. 2 breaths in, but then we're going to laugh. So you go 2 breaths in, then you go, that's right. Physiological laugh. Now, this reminds me a little bit of Sebastian had a sort of list where you have to be a little bit iffy. These are some of the well-known benefits of laughter that relieves stress, lowers blood pressure, increases memory, concentration. Some of the research studies that demonstrate these things are very small. And I think that the research is a bit inconclusive, but I think it's going to turn out that a lot of this is true, may strengthen the immune system, improves friendship. There's a saying that the people with whom you laugh become your friends, and vice versa. And so it reduces relational barriers. That's a very well-known phenomena. But I want to show you some more sort of specific research that I found intriguing. There's an inverse association between sense of humor and coronary heart disease. So people who tend to have no sense of humor tend to be more at risk for coronary heart disease and are also disinclined to laugh or to look for jokes. So, of course, this is a natural concern, and I thought it was kind of intriguing. So it may be that our vascular system, meaning our own veins and capillaries, actually discourage us from enjoying a sense of humor or from laughing because it is restricting the circulation process and the humor and laughter process. So, anyways, I thought it was a very interesting study. I'll show you one other. So here's a really quick application. So how does it apply to breathwork? Well, if you laugh properly, if you have a good belly laugh, it forces you into diaphragmatic breathing. I know that in this conference that's a kind of controversial subject, but diaphragmatic breathing is a really, in my work, is a really beautiful thing. So it's a quick way. If you get a group laughing, they get into their diaphragms. And there's a really interesting reason for this. One of the reasons why people are resistant to laughter as a practice, as an exercise, is because we measure sincerity through laughter. I'll give you an example. If somebody said, you should really buy this car, and they laughed in a really fake way, you wouldn't buy the car. It's an interesting way of measuring truth, the way people laugh. So I want to show another really interesting phenomenon. I've demonstrated that we can perhaps do laughter as a practice. I want to show an interesting way that laughter is irrefutably contagious. in a really interesting way. You may be familiar with something called the mixed martial arts, where people get into a cage and fight, not to the death, but close. What's interesting about mixed martial arts is before every fight, there's always an aggressive stare down where the two fighters stare at each other. I happened to be at one probably about 10 years ago where Georges St-Pierre was there. Georges St-Pierre is a local Quebec fighter. Not only that, he's the best in the world at the time. He was a world champion, amazing human being. When I saw him do the stare down, at one point he started to laugh. And I looked for it over and over again. It's a problem with the mixed martial arts world that when people stare at each other, they can't help laughing, even though I'm here to kill you. And what it may be exposing is this sort of fundamental mammalian trigger, which by coincidence, we experienced the other day when we were doing eye gazing. Eye gazing is a very interesting phenomenon. I've researched it a bit myself. The first few seconds of eye gazing is threatening to mammals. Looking in another mammal's eyes all of a sudden is threatening. The first 5-10 seconds, scary. But then it literally, you experience the movement from sympathetic to parasympathetic as you relax. And so this is what may be happening to even fighters. And I want to demonstrate, so if you don't believe me, let's just pick 2 random volunteers. Could I ask 2 people to maybe come up here? We don't need mics yet. Just 2 people just come up. Sure. And maybe another person to just volunteer. Sure. I'm just going to have you stand right here, and you can maybe stand right there. Now, I'm going to have you look in each other's eyes. Do not smile. Okay, it's already over. I'll try again. Do not smile. Now, take a step forward towards each other. Do not smile. Take another step forward. Do not smile. Keep going. Do not smile. Keep going. Do not smile. Maybe one little tiny step. This is one place where I think your Mountie training came in handy. But it is basically almost impossible to not be triggered into laughter and smiling by that experience, and what we might be looking at is something very fundamental to mammalian behavior. When 2 mammals or strangers confront each other, look each other in the eyes, it's going to go one way or the other, either hostility, or if there is the breath of ha, you get laughter and play. So you've got that choice right there, and you're seeing it in this confrontation. I want to show you, let's go a little bit with the laughter angle. So if you look at each other now, if you don't mind, same idea. So I'm going to ask you maybe if you can lift up your fingers and maybe point at each other, if you don't mind, which seems a little hostile, but what you're going to do is just as an exercise, just go like this. So this is called a laughter duel. And now I'm going to ask you to see if you can win the laughter duel. So the way a laughter duel works is that you want to make it seem like the other person is funnier than you are. There's more to laugh at about them than you. Okay, you can use mics if you like. So here we go. So you can point again. You guess you laugh into the microphone. And
so who wins?
The person who wins, who makes it seem like the other person is funnier because you've laughed much harder about them than they've laughed about you. Does that make sense? So here we go. 1, 2, 3, deep breath in.
Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha.
Go for it. Go for it. And time. That was good. Could we have a round of applause for this again? Thank you. That was great. I'll just keep your microphone. Can we maybe have two other people? I want to show you how hardcore this can be. I should mention I organized something called the World Laughing Championships, where we do this exercise and can be done very, very aggressively. So maybe two other people who really feel like, okay. I want to show you some exercise that we use often to warm people up. So there's a great laugh while these people are coming called the Alabama knee slapper. You probably know this already. You take a deep breath in. So you want to take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in, you lift up your hand. Okay, when your hand comes down, you slap your own knee. That's when you laugh. So you go like this. So you can use that if you want. You can use your Alabama knee slapper. So I'll have maybe you come around over here, and we'll have you look in each other's eyes. Confrontation. Yes.
Confrontation.
Okay, coming maybe a bit closer. A bit closer. That's right. That's right. Now, I can suggest to you that as an exercise, you can do a gradient laugh together, and you can do it cooperatively, which is really nice. It'll just be at a certain point we will duel. So you just want to look at each other very gently, starting to laugh. Yes, just a see if you can synchronize. And now I'm going to ask you to duel. All right, thank you very much. That was great. Thank you. So I want to show you something interesting too. I've become concerned with in terms of a laughter practice, what actually stops people from laughing? Because probably most people are in favor of laughing, but I want to know what stops people from laughing. So I'm going to show you something interesting that if you adopt what's called, in power posing, there's something called a loser pose. Loser pose is a bit like this. See if you can laugh in a loser pose. Just try it. No, it's just about, it's basically impossible. Now, same thing, throw your shoulders back confidently, take a deep breath in, now laugh. Sorry. You can even go a step further. Victory pose, breath in. This pose is called I'm All Right, Jack. This pose says everything is fine. Great stuff. Okay. Now, we've demonstrated that laughter is contagious in groups. Laughter is a very social behavior. So you might ask, if you're going to have a laughter practice, can you laugh on your own? So is laughter contagious within one person? I'll give you one very clear example that you might know about. So there's a laugh. This is a famous laugh that's called the diabolical laugh. En français, le rire maléfique, right? Now, what's interesting about this laugh is I think it is stereotyped. It's falsely stereotyped. There's nothing wrong with the diabolical laugh. It is a solo, contagious laugh. I'm going to prove it to you. It doesn't have to be diabolical. It doesn't have to be evil. Let me break down the technique. It has a precise technique, or a precise logic and math. It starts with a deep breath in, and then usually a sentence. So I'll give you a sentence. So let's go with, welcome to the Breathing Festival. So you take a deep breath in. Welcome to the Breathing Festival. First laugh. Then another breath in. Now the really big one. Deep breath in. contagious within you? Yes. So, one of the great attributes of laughing, and this is underestimated, is that it makes us smile. One of the best ways this is to appear well in photographs actually is to laugh lightly, which will make you look like you have a beautiful and natural smile. Because an honest smile requires these muscles and the muscles on the side of the eyes as well. You need kind of to laugh to do that. But here's the really interesting thing. There's research that shows that just smiling artificially, even just deciding to smile, biases the brain to find more things to smile about, which is interesting, right? And now, this is a kind of crazy one, which kind of blew my mind. Study shows that smile intensity in photographs predicts longevity. So we obviously want to promote more smiling, but particularly in pictures. It makes sense. It makes sense that people who are seen or photographed smiling more, with more intensity, have spent more time maybe laughing, have more social connections, are part of social groups, and so they're just probably a bit happier. So it would explain this phenomena, but I have found that to be quite striking. So now I want to bring you to a breathwork example. I have to say one thing, though. This is kind of Peter Litchfield's nightmare, because we're going to be doing some, I love what we've been doing. With all due respect, there's going to be some deep breathing, slow breathing, diaphragmatic breathing. It's part of the game here. And not only that, we're going to get high on smiling. So you may know this guy. He's an amazing breathwork artist, an up-and-coming breathwork artist named Sandy. What's really interesting about him is I followed him. He really became public about 6 months ago. He had about 4 subscribers on YouTube. He now, I don't know, probably has 30 or 40,000. And he does video every week. And what's interesting, he's part of I think this is the new movement in breathwork, the just press play approach. All you have to do is throw it up on YouTube, hit the play button, and go. So this breathwork, let me just tell you about it. The usual cautions: if you have a heart condition, you may want to be careful. There are long breath holds in this. What makes it special is that you really want to smile at a particular point. He'll ask you to smile. He'll explain it. It has 3 rounds, and it has 3 long, fairly longish breath holds. So it won't take us too long. It's only about 8 or 9 minutes, but it's the first example that I've found of a smiling breathwork. And we'll see how you feel. So here we go.
All right. Welcome, all you beautiful breathing people, to another guided breathwork session. In today's journey, we'll be doing 3 rounds of belly chest out breathing, followed by breath retention starting at 1 minute 30 seconds, and we will end today's journey with a 2-minute breath retention. The breathing style will be in and out through the mouth, and it'll look and sound something like this. So you simply start each inhale with the lower belly, move it up to the heart center, and gently let it out with a smile. If you smile on each exhale, you'll be surprised how good you feel by the end of this session. Beautiful. So take these next few moments to find that comfortable position, whether seated in an upright posture or lying down. Just do what feels right in your body today. And we'll begin with a big inhale through the nose, filling your entire being, then exhale slowly through the mouth. Beautiful. Keep on exhaling as you relax and come into this moment. And we'll begin with in and out through the mouth in 3, 2, 1. Belly, chest out. Beautiful. Focus on expansion, filling your entire being on the inhale, and remember to smile on the exhale. halfway there. Continue to enjoy the journey. Continue to smile. All right, 5 more breaths. We're almost there. 3, 2, last one fully in and hold. Yeah, relax into this hold. We'll be here a while. Just become aware of the sensations, become aware of this moment, and become aware of your body. All right, we'll let it out with a big smile. In 3, 2, 1, let it out. And relax fully for this 1 minute, 30-second breath retention. Maintain the inner smile and place your awareness on the body and on this moment. "15 seconds remaining. We'll take that big, beautiful inhale in 3, 2, 1, all the way in and hold. Beautiful. And we'll all exhale with the sound of awe vibrating your entire being in 3, 2, 1, let it out. Beautiful. Little breath in through the nose, let it out with a sigh. Relax for a few seconds, keeping that inner smile, placing your full awareness on this moment. And we'll begin with round number 2, belly chest out. In 3, 2, 1. Belly chest out. Beautiful. Expand the body, smile on the exhale. Begin to move this energy around. Stay present and mindful with each breath. Work, everyone. We are halfway there. Continue with the deep breaths, smiling on the exhale. connecting the inhale to the exhale as we get out of the mind and into the body. Five more breaths. 3, 2, last one, fully in and hold. We'll be here a while, so see if you can relax into this hold, maintaining that inner smile, and just enjoy the sensations. Enjoy this moment. Continue to hold, enjoy the journey, and we'll let it out with a big, beautiful smile in 3, 2, 1, let it out. And relax completely for this 1 minute, 45-second breath retention. Coming into the body, becoming aware of any sensations that you're experiencing. All of that is here and now. Remembering that this moment is all we really have. So enjoy. "15 seconds remaining. We'll take that big, beautiful inhale in 3, 2, 1. Fully in and hold. Yeah, squeeze your pelvic floor muscles, send this energy up. And we'll all exhale again with the sound of ah in 3, 2, 1. Let it out. Beautiful. Little breath in through the nose. Let it out with a sigh. And come into this moment. All right. Last round of this smiling breath work. In 3, 2, 1. In, out. Belly, chest, out. Beautiful. Really expand on this last round. Smile, smile, smile. Enjoy the ride. almost there. Continue to fill yourself with this gratitude and joy, exhaling with a smile. Five more.
Sorry.
All right.
Sorry. 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in. I moved the video, so we have to do it manually, but I hope that'll be okay. Hold your breath. You might feel dizzy. On the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you're going to release with a smile and ah. And now we'll just do a 1-minute breath hold. Does anybody have a timer? Time us for 1 minute. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in. Hold it. Notice the feelings. Smile into the feelings if you can. And just release with a breath of ha. Ha. Beautiful. I'm sorry, my finger tapped the video. That's why the last round was a little bit weird, but thank you for going with it. That was great. Thank you. That was kind of a demonstration that you can infuse smiling into your breathwork without it being contradictory in any way. In fact, it sort of fits naturally. And now I'm going to bring us back, just because we're short on time, but I'm trying to keep the time very quickly here, that I want to bring us back to sort of an application.
All right.
Sorry, not that. A very specific application for the breath of Ha and for a laughter practice for breathwork. It's a very specific application. I don't know if you might have noticed this, but I myself am not a morning person. I often wake up in a daze, and sometimes I notice something really interesting, or maybe not interesting, kind of sad, that often when I wake up in the morning, I have this sense, sort of vague sense of dread, or stress, or worry. And I would notice that even on days where things were going well in my life, I have an exciting day ahead of me, I'd wonder why I had this sense of worry and dread first thing. And so began doing a little bit of research along with Tiffany on this exact subject. Many people, I think that they think that around 50 or 60% of the population wakes up feeling very stressed and often feelings of dread for the day that is to come. This has nothing to do with whether they have a bad day ahead of them or they have anything negative in their schedule, let's say. And I discovered something interesting you may know about this. It's called the cortisol awakening response, which is that as you sleep every night, as you move towards waking up, the way your body wakes you up naturally is that it juices you with huge amounts of cortisol, which is the stress hormone. Now, there is debate. There's sort of interesting conflicting studies. Some studies say that huge surge of cortisol doesn't really actually make you stressed. It's just the thing that wakes you up. But there are other studies that say it very much makes you stressed, that surge in cortisol, the brain always rationalizes its states, as we know. So you get this big surge of cortisol first thing in the morning, and you wonder why you feel so worried and stressed. And of course you think, well, that's because I'm having a bad life. I have lots to worry about. So this is very intriguing, was very intriguing to me. Here we're getting close to a kind of mechanical explanation for why it happens. And I remembered this sort of beautiful laughter study. So it's a famous laughter study that shows that laughter actually decreases levels of cortisol and epinephrine very, very quickly. In fact, laughter is the antidote to the stress response. Literally, it is the antidote to cortisol. And so, maybe this is an interesting application for the breath of Ha. We live in a very stressy world where people are already prone to be stressed. So, we're going to introduce you to something today, and this is actually a world premiere. This was not my idea, this part of it. Not my idea, but I'm going to introduce you to the person who had the idea. The concept of wolfing. Wolfing is the idea that you can wake up laughing. Easier said than done, but today we're going to show you exactly how to do it. And it is my honor to introduce the person who was actually invented, who figured it out, who cracked the code for how to wake up laughing. So it is my honor to introduce Tiffany Caudill, who will now just talk very briefly about it, and then we will do a demonstration of wolfing together with you. That's all right. Tiffany.
Are we on? Is the green working, or should I pick
It's
the
working.
other one? That's good. Good afternoon. I had rehearsed this as a good morning. I really enjoyed having a yay for today. So could we do that gradient yay again? That take a breath in.
Yay!
Imagine if you could wake up doing that every day. How many of you experience worry and dread in the morning? How many of you are that ticker tape of going, oh my God, I got so much to do today. You're already stressed before you get out of bed. Well, there's a way to reevaluate that. And it's noticing what your actions are when the senses come in. So imagine yourself in bed. You're cozy. You feel your body. You're beginning to awake. You're coming out of the veil. You can notice the ticker tape coming in. Take a breath. And imagine your body, that sweet sensory of the yawn, that squeeze and the hold, the stretch and the twist. And then you exhale that yawn. And you can exhale it with a If you need something to laugh with, hug your pillow. So grateful for my pillow, right? So it's not that you're changing anything that's coming into your life. The stress is still there. It's the affect. So I was in a very deep chronic depression, and that affected me to see my world in black and white. And if I can choose and I get to be stressed out, I choose and I can get to put joy in my inner self. I choose and I get to have a wolfing practice. Wake up laughter fun, and now gratitude is wolfing. Wake up laughing. And I'll challenge all of you to do that. So Albert and I designed a video where we made it just for you guys, just for the breathing conference, because it has the breath of Ha in it. And while we go through it, I'll be up here, conducting you, but it's natural. You already know how to do this. But when we go through the Ha's, and you're laughing or breathing out your ha, imagine you're collecting it and you're creating it into a blanket. So for example, through the video, we're gonna go ha, 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 like the breath of fire. Ha, ha, ha. Take those ha's, you're gonna cover them up, you're gonna squeeze, you're gonna hold, and then you're gonna let them all out. Ha, 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 ha. 1, 2, 3. You wake up, you stretch, you yawn, maybe some silly noises, and then you laugh. It's that simple. If you can do that every day before getting out of bed, you're going to hack your worry. You're going to hack and see the affect that joy is what comes from here. And the more you can put inside, the more you're going to see it. Just like that smiling, the more you smile, the more you laugh, the more reasons why you'll find those things in your day. So why not do it when you wake up? Let's do it.
Okay.
Ta-da!
If we can have the volume up a little bit. So
So this will be inhale.
here's the world premiere of
exhale.
wolfing.
Just for you guys. Good morning. Coming out of the veil. We're all there every day. We come out and we in and out. Life is a gift. It's beautiful. There's miracles in front of you all the time. They're right there. Yeah. Little birds. Aren't they cute? Gather them up, pull it in, hold, squeeze. When you wake up in the morning, hold yourself. There's techniques to this. Hug yourself, be excited, anticipation. We're gonna laugh on purpose for no reason. And remember, if it's too fast, you can always slow down. But that's your breath of ha. Now collect your ha's, collect them all up, pull them inside, hold yourself. This is called the hug and roll. You are designed just perfectly. Yeah, you're an amazing miracle. Here we go. Oh, that's the sweet spot when we yawn and stretch in the morning, isn't it? Feels so good. I call this saturation. Yeah, it's a gratitude practice. Just spending 2 minutes to get ready to laugh every day. try that? Let's do it one more time. Gather your heart. This time, give yourself a good guffaw.
This is the big one.
Ready? And then there's humor. So it's highly possible.
Timmy.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
So I'm keeping it just under an hour, and we're actually doing it. So this I came across after we started doing this, and this blew my mind. This is Huberman has referenced it. Actually, I don't know the exact study, but whatever gives you dopamine in the morning, you search out the rest of the day. So if you get we notice that when you laugh early in the morning, you look for more reasons to laugh throughout the rest of the day. You become, in effect, more cheerful. So this practice, for me, I have to say, has been game-changing, just because I was never a morning person. And now there's really an interesting factor. Many people who do this say they anticipate. They go to bed, which I never used to anticipate waking up in the morning, but they anticipate laughing in the morning because there's fun and dopamine there. So it's sort of so maybe I'll just, because we're out of time, it's really been an honor here to talk about the breath of Ha. I know that many of you probably have some familiarity, but I think this is the opportunity to actually spread the gospel of Ha, that laughter is a deep and innate behavior. The reason I talked about mammals laughing is that we often think of, for example, smiling sounds like an ancient instinctive experience. It's only tens of thousands of years old. Laughter is millions of years old. Millions. It's a very old, primordial, basic, instinctive behavior that we all share. And so what the breath of Ha really is really it's the breath of happiness. Thank you very much.